Welcome back to the channel as we're currently in the process of updating our prospect rankings and we're on to the hog mollies. Yes, sir, that OT class. And I know some of y'all's favorite NFL teams probably use a new offensive tackle, so you're in luck, you're in luck. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content as always. Let me know what you think in the comment section below where we have that nice, beautiful football discourse. I will only be discussing 10 players in this video, though if you hang with me until the end of the video, I'm gonna list out some guys that just missed the list. But let's go ahead, get into this sucker with number 10, Patrick Paul from Houston, coming in at a nice 6'7", 315, former 3-star recruit from the 2019 class. If the name sounds familiar, no, he's not Chris Paul from the NBA's brother, but he's actually Chris Paul from the NFL. You didn't know, his brother used to play at Tulsa, and he was a 7th round pick in the 2022 NFL draft, where he was selected by the Washington Commanders. Anywho, this cat went to Houston, redshirted his freshman season, and then in year 2 during the 2020 season, he had a season-ending leg injury. But from there on out, 2021, 2022, and likely this year, he has been a first-team All-AAC or All-American Conference. Like, this cat has been that good. He has not allowed a pressure nor a sack this season. Not half bad at all. If you go back to, I mean, that's even better than last year was for him. To be fair, like, best competition they faced this season, West Virginia, Texas Tech. To be fair, hey, Houston's Big 10 this year, right? They're Big 12, so the competition will be better. Oh, so he's gonna get tested out this year. I'm really excited about that. Now, I don't know why that didn't just dawn on me, talking all about the American Conference, but hey, nice. I guess, I mean, you're probably been seeing this guy's name maybe sometimes in the first round, definitely at least like in the day 2 with some people. It's because he's got great length. He presents a nice wide base. Just a tough obstacle to get around. Nice strong anchor in pass protection. Does a good job of quickly resetting that anchor when he needs to, resetting his hands when he needs to. Despite being 6'7", he does a good job of maintaining leverage. Love to see it. Plays with that nastiness the NFL just kind of loves. Always constantly looking for someone to bury. He's been praised by Houston coaches for his leadership, for his just attitude. He is someone, I will say, this season has improved some of the inconsistencies with overall his technique, his hand placement. I still think he might be maybe a bit a ways away. And it's not like we're talking a guy that's like, I mean, he's tall, he's big. He's not the quickest, not the greatest mover, but I think it's fine enough. So like, I'm not there yet in this tackle class with him as a first rounder. I've seen people float his name as a first rounder. I don't know if I'll ever be there. I mean, now just realizing that he's in the Big 10 now, so he's gonna get some significant matchups. Maybe like Texas. Oh, now I gotta go look at Houston's schedule real quick. Houston Cougars football schedule. Okay, he's literally got Texas this week. Perfect. Oh man, I should have waited to put out these rankings then. So that's gonna be one to watch. That's gonna be one to watch. Listen, I know you love the NFL draft as much as I do, and you're gonna want a nice hefty watch list of players during this college football season. Well, go ahead, check out my draft guide. You can purchase it for only 30 bucks. by Venmoing or PayPaling me. Links in the description. It's a one-time payment and you get it for this whole draft cycle and forever and always. Technically, it's a Google spreadsheet. So send me your email when you send the payment. I'll get you hooked up. You will see my current prospect rankings and big board, my full evals. And guess what? It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So it's a great purchase and it's a great way to support the channel. But at number 9 on this list is Jonah Monheim out of USC. This one was a little tougher for me because I honestly thought about moving him to my interior. I think he could end up being a guard at 6'5", 300. He's a guy that's just kind of naturally been under 300 pounds for most of his career, but dude's having a stellar season. So like, I might be willing to like see it out with him being a tackle. But now that I'm looking at this, maybe he ends up just maybe I end up projecting him on the interior class when it's all said and done. But he's had a good year. Notre Dame and Arizona State were the 2 games where he allowed the most pressures, and it was like 5 of his 6 pressures this season came in those 2 games. Outside of that, man, he's been very good. You'd be like, Arizona State's no good. BJ Green is actually pretty darn good. So let's not act like, oh, Notre Dame, Arizona State, that's not impressive. Arizona State's not impressive. Notre Dame I can understand, but not Arizona State. Now, Arizona State kind of got a stud on that roster. But with Monheim, he was a former 3-star recruit from the 2020 class. Redshirt his freshman season, didn't see any, but he did see significant snaps prior to redshirting at right guard. In 2021, he played in 10 games with 7 starts at right tackle. Started every game with 3 starts at right guard and 11 at right tackle. And he's been playing left tackle. So this is a guy that has versatility everywhere. Like, he's a great athlete. Love the quick foot, the foot quicks, the movement skills. Does a good job of getting upfield, keeping his contact balance, landing blocks out in space. I think he's got good length. Honestly, like if he ends up having sub 33-inch arms, that's probably like, yeah, he's going to the interior then. But see, when I believe it, I think he's got. I'm pretty confident he's got like 33-inch arms. Again, won't know till they're measured out, but I'm not worried about his length when I'm watching his tape. Great grip strength, tough to disengage from. Some of the things with him is he does struggle to anchor against like speed to power rushers. Penalties were a big part of his game last season, 11 penalties. This season through, was it 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 games, he only has 3 penalties, so big improvement. Love to see that. I think he has improved in pass protection, and for a guy that's being 6'5", he in 2022 he did play with a high pad level. I think he's done a good job of sinking his hips a little more consistently with that, but he's a hard one to place, man. So I think 3rd round sounds right for however you see him, whether he's an interior player or you want to give him a shot out there at tackle. But let's go ahead and move on to number 8. And I got Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma, coming in at 6'7", 327. I got a 2nd round grade on him, former 3-star recruit from the 2020 class, where he played primarily on the defensive line back in high school, but he was widely considered offensive line recruit. Did play basketball as well in high school. Initially went to TCU, where he redshirted his freshman year in 2020. In 2021, he played in 8 games with 1 start, funny enough, as a fullback. But he only played 63 snaps that season. Decided, okay, well, I guess I'll go transfer. And he transferred to Oklahoma, of all places. Played in 10 games last season with 5 starts, 4 of them at right tackle, 1 at left tackle. Primarily this season, he is playing the left tackle position. Now, been a relatively solid, like a really good year. Really good year. The guy carries a ton of weight, but it doesn't look like it. Like, his frame is long. And he carries that like 330 pounds exceptionally well. Like it doesn't, like when he's moving, it doesn't even look like he's carrying that. Just surprisingly agile for a 330 pounder. Love the foot quickness. Does a good job of matching the quickness of pass rushers if he needs to. He moves well laterally, climbs to the second level well. Shows good flexibility, and I like his ability to sink because, you know, 6'7", those taller tackles have trouble maintaining or even getting leverage just because you're tall. It's hard to get down sometimes when you're that tall. It's like climbing up a tall tree. It's hard to get down sometimes. Anywho, shows good versatility that he's played both sides, right tackle, left tackle. Sometimes it's pretty hard switching opposite side of where you've probably played most of your career. So showing that he has had that flexibility, I think kind of goes a long way, though he has kind of predominantly played on the right side his whole career. He does pack a ton of power behind his punches, or at least I think he can. You don't really see those like definite blows. I don't think he maybe necessarily uses his length to his best, the best that he can, let's call it that, especially when it means coming, like he looks like more of a guy that's wants to just like kind of grip and engage rather than, okay, I could throw some strikes here and knock this guy. I think he has the power, but maybe not, man. Maybe this guy that's just gonna have a tough time at the point of attack. I do think he could be more active with his hands, and yeah, I think honestly that's the only thing. That was kind of a thing for people last year with Anton Harrison coming out, the other Oklahoma tackle. That like, how will his lack of a power profile go at the next level? And like, at least with Harrison, you knew it was something he was working on. You saw that it was something he got better at, even though it still probably wasn't there for where you wanted it to be in the NFL. That's kind of unknown with me when it comes to Guyton. I haven't looked at any interviews up on Guyton, so I don't know if he knows that it's an issue for him. But definitely an interesting guy to watch out for. I know someone that I think probably either Jim Nagy or Dane Brugler were high on. I'm not positive, but let's go ahead. Get to number 7 here. I got Kingsley Soo Mata out of BYU, formerly a Oregon Duck. That's right. This cat was a 5-star recruit in the 2021 class. Redshirted his freshman season at Oregon, but he got homesick, decided to get closer to home because he's originally from Orem, Utah. So he transfers to BYU, where he started 12 games at right tackle. Did miss a game because of an ankle injury, but he was first team all independent. And this season, now in the Big 12, he's looked mighty great, at least mainly as a pass protector. I really think his pass protection has been phenomenal this season when having to protect Keaton Slovis. He's doing it on the left side of the line this year as well. So love to see that. Kind of has the ideal frame at 6'6", 315. Ideal frame, ideal length for the position. He's strong, nice wide base. It's almost impossible to kind of defeat him on the bull rush. All you really need is one arm to kind of stonewall a defender. Plays with good pad level, sinks well, drops the anchor strong. Love to see that. A lot of power through this frame. Great athlete as well. Shows good acceleration, whether it's lateral or climbing to the second level. He gets to that spot, or he gets to the spot that he needs to be. Exceptionally quick. And run blocker, man. He's got that Barium mentality that the NFL just kind of loves. So yeah. I think he needs to get better at using his hands, better at using his length. He attacks with kind of wide hands and kind of leaves his pads open to just be attacked, I suppose. He leaves that strike zone open for defenders to kind of get in there. The footwork is coming along. I think parts of it is better, at least in the pass protection. I think it's a bit better. He's not stopping his feet on contact. That's something I like, man. Because you stop your feet on contact, man, they're gonna just get right by you. You need to be able to keep moving those feet. You really do. I mean, this is a dude that has elite traits that just kind of needs more of that polish. Keep in mind, he is only a third-year player, and I kind of see him as this fringe first rounder at this point. That's right. We're only at tackle 7, and I said fringe first rounder. This is kind of a good tackle class. At number 6, I got Jordan Morgan out of Arizona coming in at 6'6", 320, former 3-star recruit from the 2019 class out of Marana High School in Marana, Arizona. That's basically in Tucson. But yeah, he ended up deciding to stay home and play for the Arizona Wildcats, who are based in Tucson. Also participated in shot put in high school. Go figure. Big meaty lineman doing the field portions of track and field. Makes sense to me. Let's see. He only appeared in 6 games in 2019 with 2 starts at left tackle. In 2020, they had the shortened season, but he ended up missing the final 3 games of that year with injuries. So that's kind of like a nothing year, really. 2021, before the season, he sustained an ankle injury during camp and missed the opener, but he played through the final 11 games with that exact injury. And you can kind of tell, man, if you go back and look at his analytics, they're not that great in 2021. And then suddenly he just has this big rise in 2022, where he played in 10 games at left tackle, made first team All Pac-12, did miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL. And that played a big part in him not entering the 2023 NFL draft class. And that's why we see him here. So yeah, he's had a solid enough year. I think he probably has the most pressures potentially on this list of tackles, but he has been very, very solid. I think he's a very agile mover, plays with good balance, shows good core strength, sinks the hips well, does a good job establishing leverage, especially when he's up against power. I think he has a good head on his shoulders. He can recognize blitz, he can recognize stunts and whatnot. Nice kick slide, good understanding of blocking angles. Like I think he is definitely a very good pass protector here. Moves well with quick feet, whether it's to get to the second level or as a pull blocker. Nice power in his frame. You just want to see him kind of use it more in his hands, because he does have that power to be more explosive. It's just something you kind of notice where he can be a bit docile sometimes, where I think when I say docile, I think he's just more content on stonewalling defenders rather than like, oh no, I can hit him like a brick through a windshield. Like, because you kind of see that with him, just the maybe it's just hand utilization. I want to go back and watch the oh, what game? I guess I would want to go back and watch Washington from him. Because honestly, that's probably his worst game of the year, and it's not even that bad. So I want to go back, watch the Washington game with him, see how he handled Zion Tolipiloto, Fetty. You got ZTF, Braylon Trice. So I am a bit intrigued in that. I am curious to see how his arms measure out at, if he has 33-inch arms or not. But he might be in like the sphere of prospect where you're like, you know what? Do I care if he has sub length? As long as he, honestly, if he tests out similar to guys like Penny Sewell, Rashawn Slater, then he's probably going to be flying up boards if that's the reason. Oh, all right, dropped my mail. Let's go ahead and move on to number 5. I got J.C. Latham out of Alabama, former 5-star recruit from the 2021 class, coming in at 6'6", 335 pounds. Having actually a pretty good year. I think he's bounced back pretty well after the Texas game. Texas game was probably maybe his worst, and it wasn't even that bad. So like, yeah, like JC Latham, we're probably gonna end up talking about in the top as a top 20 prospect for sure. But he was what, a full-time starter last year, a right tackle, still at right tackle, so you might have concerns. Can he play on the left? Oh my gosh, I don't know, you might have that concern. But he's a big freaking boy, moves exceptionally well, very flexible for a guy his size, very quick at firing out of his stance. You like the foot quicks. Dude packs a mean punch. Yeah, at that size, he better be strong. And fun fact, he is. The dude's just oozing tools. He's oozing size, length, power, movement skills. And it feels like he's kind of putting it all together this season. I would say he's flexible enough to be able to sink consistently. Doesn't always sink consistently. Tall tackle problem. It happens. I think as a run blocker, he has been better the last few weeks, but it's still something I'm a little concerned with. I feel like he just needs to do a better job with his hand placement. He just attacks with wide hands, and there are times he'll get his anchor displaced. The penalty has been cut down. That's kind of a big thing. He had 11 penalties last year, only 3 this season. So you like to see that. So he is having a better season. He's going to be in the first round talk. I mean, again, a guy with just his length, size, power, athleticism, and tools, man. It's hard. Those guys are hard to find. They just are. At number 4, I got Taliese Fuaga out of Oregon State. I just mentioned him in my stock report. Said, hey, this is a guy that my buddy Alex from Hail Mary Sports really high on, and he is kind of an ascendant prospect at this point because he's having a phenomenal season, coming in at 6'6", 334 pounds. Just had a big game against UCLA, against the Murphy twins and Latu, and only allowed 1 pressure. Hasn't allowed a sack this year, only allowed 4 pressures. He has been flagged 5 times, which there's that, but I mean, last season he was only flagged 3 times. I don't think it's a consistency thing with him, but last year was his first year as a full-time starter. He made second team all Pac-12. This year he's going to probably be potentially a first team All-American. This dude's got good length. He is just insanely strong. He literally murder guys in the run game. Like, this is a dude that is like a legit like impact block, big time block, whatever you want to call it, hand, like putting you on your rear. He is just a menace in that regard. Dude is that strong. He's gonna be like, call the Undertaker. He's burying these guys 6 feet under. He plays actually pretty low with good leverage, nice mean streak. Does a good job of sealing defensive tackles with down blocks, displacing edge defenders on the outside or on when the play calls for it. Does a good job of working angles, and like this dude just moves men against their will, like legitimately. He handles power rushers well as a pass protector. His hands have really come a long way, and like I think he's like, his one weakness will be quicker pass rushers, more finesse pass rushers, because I mean, at 334, you're not going to be the lightest, you're not going to be the most nimble guy or the quickest guy, but he moves pretty well for his size. It's just there's only so much you can do to keep up with these guys with your feet. But he just using his hands so much better this season to be able to take on those type of pass rushers. It's a thing to be seen. I got him as a top 20 prospect at this point. Good call, Alex, man. Good call. This guy is nasty. All right, number 3, I got our Marius Mims out of Georgia, former 5-star recruit out of the 2021 class, coming in at 6'7", 340 pounds. He allowed 1 pressure and no sacks on 87 passing snaps. He's been out since week 3. He had tightrope surgery on the ankle. He should be back around like week 10, week 9, week 10, I think is ideally, but don't quote me on it. And I'd love to see him back because this guy just needs experience because he's got the tools. He's got the tools. If you're unfamiliar, then this guy had 2 starts last season prior to coming into this year. Had only those 2 starts, and they were both in the college football playoff, where he annihilated Ohio State and TCU respectively. And he was having a solid year this season before the ankle injury. Hopefully he comes back, because I do think this guy this cat can get into that top 10 stratosphere, because the dude is huge, great length, and while those are desirable traits, the most impressive thing about him are just the movement skills. How do you move like that at that size? Like, he doesn't have slow feet for a big man. He plays with control. He plays with good balance. He wants to initiate contact, so he's almost always attacking or he's almost always at the point of attack. I mean, honestly, if we're gonna kind of like nitpick this cat currently, it's the lack of experience. And granted, not playing left tackle. Like, I thought he was gonna be starting left tackle going into this year for Georgia, and that ended up not being the case. Matter of fact, I gotta update that sucker in my notes, but there are times where he does play with a bit inconsistency with his hands, and doesn't just get the necessary depth or leverage that he should. But kind of nitpicking again, the sample size is kind of so small with him. But yeah, I can't wait for him to return. And yeah, I guess let's go ahead get to number, because everyone already knows who 1 and 2 likely are. Let's just go ahead and do it, as we got Joe Alt here at number 2, coming in at 6'8", 322 pounds, former 4-star recruit out of the 2021 class. He played tight end and defensive end his junior year. Before moving to the offensive line, he also played basketball. His father, John, played along the offensive line for Iowa and was a first-round pick in the 1984 NFL draft by the Kansas City Chiefs. His brother, Mark, plays hockey for the Los Angeles Kings, so that's a fun fact there. But during his freshman season, he played in every game at tight end and offensive tackle, made 8 starts at left tackle, and was the full-time starter in 2022, where he was first-team All-American. And there's a good shot that he might be a first-team All-American once again this season. Only has 3 pressures allowed on the season with 1 sack. All of it stemming to that Duke game, though. RJ Obin, man, watch out for that cat. That he's gonna be an interesting watch. If you're unfamiliar with him, he's the Duke pass rusher. But there is a lot to love with Alt, man. Massive frame, massive wingspan, uses his length well, heavy hands. It's like a brick through a car windshield. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. Throws strong strikes, plays to the whistle, so he has that nice motor, has that nice nasty run blocker mentality the NFL loves. Just get into the second level, wanting to just bury guys. Excellent movement skills. Kind of feel like he's good for any blocking stance. Typically, though, he is lining up in a 3-point stance, and honestly gets out of it exceptionally quick. So I don't know why you would change that at the NFL level. Just love the quick twitch movement from a player his size. I will say, like, if I'm gonna nitpick things about him, there are times where, like, he just in the run game, it feels like he ends up on the ground more times than not. I guess in general, really. So I kind of want to, I'd like to see him on the ground less. But also times with the bull rush, I feel like sometimes he will concede ground a little bit too early, and it doesn't give him much space between him and the quarterback. But I got him as a top 5 prospect. So, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of nitpicking. But number 1, it's Olu Fashanu out of Penn State, coming in at 6'6", 319. He has allowed 1 pressure all season on 175 pass rushing snaps. Looking at who they played, and the Ohio State game will be a good test this week. Let's just say that. He kind of came out of nowhere last year, where he started 8 games at left tackle before missing the remainder of the season with a undisclosed injury, made second team All Big Ten. He was projected to be a top 10 pick, but decided to return. I think he was quoted as saying, "I didn't expect to be a draft prospect, going into the year, you know." So it like kind of caught me off guard. The plan for me has always been to return to school. So he did return to school, and we get him this year. Yay. But he's got ideal length, size, and athleticism for the position. Does a good job of throwing good strikes. Kind of has this immovable anchor, nice strong base where he kind of like just flashes the quick feed and the lateral ability. Very good mirroring skills. Like he's kind of the ideal pass protector in this class. Like legit can go one-on-one with anybody, it feels like it. He has hardly ever put on ice skates, just displays good balance. He's an easy mover both vertically and horizontally, and just his ability to get out of blocks and just win angles within his first 2 steps, just to be able to like set, like he just kind of erases defenders. It's just kind of what it is, man. It's just kind of what it is. A big student of the game, and he has received praise from coaches for his work ethic and film study. If we want to nitpick, I don't know if the NFL will consider him having a finisher mentality. I know he's a bit better as a run blocker this year, but I don't know if I'd say I don't think I would say, oh, he is this savage run blocker, because I don't think that's necessarily the case. I would like to see him be more of a striker. Like typically, more times than not, he's looking to like swat and latch, and I think he could just do more damage, like overwhelming defenders just with his strong hands. Because the dude's got strength, the dude's got power, but he's your top OT offensive tackle prospect. For me, for a while, I had Alt slightly ahead of Olu. To be fair, honestly, I think they're so close. I don't think it really matters who you got ahead of who. I'm kind of leaning Fashanu just because he is. I suppose he's had the better year. He's yet to have a hiccup opposed to Alt, who still played a really good game, but maybe it wasn't the cleanest game against Duke. But kind of is what it is. But let's talk about some of the guys that didn't make the list, because I know I'm going to get questions about Graham Barton. And fun fact, if you ask about it in the comment section, I'm just going to tell you, watch the end of the video. Because if you're asking about a guy I talk about here at the end of the video, then I know you didn't watch the video. Granted, you probably watched portions, you just didn't watch the whole thing. But I have Graham Barton. I officially moved him to my interior rankings. Just he's again very similar to a situation I feel like with Jonah Monheim, that they have experience along the offensive line that maybe if I got questions about their size, questions about maybe their length, maybe I just go ahead and move them to interior prospects. I went ahead and did that with Barton, but I'd give him a shot on the outside if I'm being honest. I had a lot of guys that I thought were good that just missed the list, like Blake Fisher, a guy that's I still think it's all like he's got all the tools in the world. It's just still coming together for him. You got Matt Goncalves out of Pittsburgh. He's having actually a solid season. A lot of people are talking well, I say a lot of people. I think it's just Jordan Reed and Mel Kiper. I think Trevor Sigma talked about this cat, but Kieran McGay DG, I don't know, the tackle from Yale. Problem is this cat is a true junior, so he's not going to get an all-star circuit to prove that he go against better talent. So I think he's kind of got to stay, right? See, he's from the 2021 class. He's gonna have to stay. No, he is eligible. Wait a minute. Fun fact. Because he was at Yale when they canceled their year because of Rona. Oh, let me just confirm the this guy, what recruiting class was he in? Okay, here we go, 24/7. No, yeah, it was the 2020 class. So actually, he might be eligible for an all-star circuit. So, ooh, okay. I see you. Watch out, watch out. I'm kind of excited. I like that. I also got Javon Foster. He's having a really good year. for Mizzou, but he is going to be one of the oldest prospects in this class. He's like a 6-year player. You got Jack Nelson, who feels like a lot of things are coming together for him. He's having a good year at Wisconsin. And I can't wait to see my boy Zion Nelson play for Miami someday again. He's been out hurt, so kind of sucks, but that's it for the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do that YouTube thing, but as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.